Chairman Graves, Ranking Member Velasquez, thank you, Mr. Undersecretary McCord and Mr. Ginman, for taking the time today. I'm really glad we're holding this hearing on this specific issue because I know that we specifically in this committee, and I'm sure the rest of our colleagues in Congress, understand the importance of small businesses as it relates to the recovery of this economy and the job creation that we know comes directly from our small businesses. So the threat of sequestration at this time when they're beginning to recover, it could be devastating. I've only been here in Congress a little over a year, and I came to Congress last July just to see one of the most bitter partisan fights I think this country has ever seen. I voted against the Budget Control Act because I thought it was a bad idea then, and it's proven to be a very bad idea. And I didn't think it was my job or any of us come to Congress to set automatic across-the-board budget cuts. And I voted against it because I didn't think it was also my job to turn over my authority to a super committee to make the decisions for this country. And I think it's bearing out today that these automatic cuts will damage our economy, specifically to our small businesses. One of the things I think we stand to lose because of sequestration is the innovation, specifically by our small businesses who stand to suffer the most damage from the loss of federal governments. Can either one of you maybe give the committee a specific example of the type of technology or innovation you fear that we could lose if sequestration goes through?
I don't have one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I guess we don't have a good example in that the cuts going forward are kind of going to be spread everywhere, and in our S&T area is not going to be exempt. So there will be impacts there, but I guess I'm not familiar enough to know what specific projects might be the ones that fall by the wayside as we deal with 9% less. The thing that we would have done with our 13 S&T funding that we'll now have 91% of. I agree with your premise. There will be an impact down the road. It's hard for me to assess in advance what projects won't be selected, perhaps because we can't afford to fund them all.
Let me get a little more specific. I know in my district in California, we've benefited from new innovative technology that has saved government agencies time and money, and even have saved lives. And some of these businesses were able to do this through the SBIR grant program. And we know that seemingly unrelated research can often lead to inventions that prove useful for defense and other purposes. And given that non-defense discretionary spending includes virtually all research and development at agencies like the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, and NASA, are you worried that sequestration to these non-defense programs could negatively impact our national security and competitiveness? Is it probable that research for NASA or NIH could benefit our national defense? And maybe you could give us a sense, this committee, on the role that non-defense research plays in our national defense.
Well, we certainly understand, and I think the administration's report touched on this, that the effects are bad on our agency as well as other agencies. Secretary Panetta, as a former Budget Committee chairman, used to looking across the spectrum when he was here as a member, certainly understands that as much as we talk about and think about the impact on ourselves, of course, primarily as the Department of Defense, that's what we're doing and what we're talking about. He does recognize the impacts are damaging, and that across-the-board cuts don't make any more sense for domestic agencies or entities like NIH than they do for us. So yes, we certainly understand that concern and share it.
Thanks. Because I don't want us to get in a thought process in Congress that it's defense and then it's non-defense cuts, because I think there is a huge relationship between some of our traditional non-defense research that actually has played into technology and innovation that has clearly benefited our national security. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Butler.